friends, Kim from Stamping Imperfection. I'm playing with some Scrappy Tales Crafts goodies today, and I want to share that all of the stuff at Scrappy Tales is on sale for Labor Day weekend from now through September 6th, 20% off. So I am playing with, I made this tag for one of the challenge teams I'm on, and the challenge was to use washi tape. It was an anything goes challenge, and I've been dying to use this Cardinal Blessings stamp set. I love this stamp set, and it's not a new one. And I pulled out the poinsettia dies and the Assorted Christmas leaves die set, and you can see those here on this tag, and I just love how beautifully they fill in a project when you just need something. So that's what I'm playing with today, and I love the tags so much. I decided I wanted to make a couple more, and I wanted to make a video to share how great, how quick and easy these tags are to make, and how great they look with the products from Scrappy Tales. So I have some Manila tags that I like to use. I really like these tags. They are a good size. I got some off Amazon, but they're much smaller. I really like these bigger tags, excuse me. So I started out, I wanted to change the color, so I pulled out, and I'm sorry my table is very wobbly. It only will be wobbly while I'm ink blending here. The first tag, I'm using my Maker Forte Color Hive telephone box ink. I love this color of red. It's so beautiful, and you can see how well this covers that Manila tag. And I'm just going to cover the front. When I get my tag all done, before I use it, I will put some really pretty Christmas paper on the back. I'll either put pattern paper or I'll use Christmas wrapping or something like that to cover up the back of the tag. So that's telephone box red, and I'm going to do the second tag in this gorgeous green color called Everglades, and these are beautiful. You can see how well these blend. And when I do tags, I don't try to get perfect blends. Like having some spots that are darker and some spots that are lighter actually creates a really fun effect on the tag, because I'm going to add a bunch of splatter to these. Once I completed the ink blending, I spritzed them with water, because these are water reactive inks. These are dye-based inks, and I like the texture and the dimensional feel that I get from my tags when I do that. I think that it's not really noticeable until you get the tag all done and you realize how much texture you have on there. So I'm pulling out the Eclipse black ink, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm spritzing it with water, and then I'm going to splatter this on. So I just mix it up, and I have just a small round paintbrush. I think this is like a number 4 round paintbrush, and I'm just splattering that on. And it's going to, the tag is still a little wet, so it's actually going to like seep into, it's going to soak into the tag. You'll see like a shadow of the spots, and once I finish this, I'm going to let this completely dry, and I'm going to do the same thing with some white, and I use white gouache for that, and I'm going to use also some ground espresso distress ink, but I want to dry it at this stage, and I'm just going to build layers of splatter, because that gives you a lot of texture and dimension on your tags. So here I went ahead and added the white, and I love the white gouache. It's an interesting product. It's like almost like a watercolor. I consider it a watercolor tool. I'm not sure if it's technically considered a watercolor paint. I consider it a watercolor paint, but I love how bright white the dots of that are. So it works really well to create some white splatter. Now once that was dry, I went ahead and used the ground espresso, and I still had a little white in the brush. I'm okay with that. Again, I'm just trying to create some dimension so it sort of just blends in with the rest of it. Now you could continue. I'm going to let this dry before I move to the next step, and I'm going to I'm going to make sure it's completely dry, and you'll see that it's barely noticeable, but I love the effect that I always get with this. So to add some interest to the bottom of the tag, I have this really pretty wide washi tape in my stash, and I am just going to use that to cover the bottom of the tags. I'm just going to fold it around the back because I know that I'm going to cover up the back with some pretty paper. You could use plain cardstock and just leave it so you can write a message on the back when you use it for your gift tag. These make really nice gift tags for a bottle of wine, or if you make homemade jams and jellies or homemade gifts in a jar. These are perfect tags for those bigger items. I love to attach a homemade tag to gifts that I give, and I especially love to attach them to homemade gifts that I give. So I've got my kids trained to know that I love homemade gifts. I love giving them and I love getting them. So my daughter often makes me a homemade gift, and I like that a lot. And every year they get 1 or 2 homemade gifts from me for holidays. So I went ahead and added, I also had this really thin black and white striped, and it wasn't like an evenly striped thing. I like it. It's sort of graphic. And you can see I'm using that grid below my tag to line these up and try to at least get them straight on the tag, because sometimes, like most of the time, imperfection does not bother me, but for some reason crooked dots bothers me. So it's a little quirk I have. So I'm just kind of giving it a little border with that smaller tape. I have so many washi tapes, it's actually fun to use them. Another thing that I did, so this piece here is from the Assorted Leaves die. I cut out a bunch of these. I really like this, and I'm putting red berries on the end using this Christmas Red Nouveau drop. And I'm doing this on, I have this little cutting board that I use, and you can see it's already got, the other side has way more stains than this side, and this side has quite a few. So I do this, this is my first step to do so that it has time to dry, and I'll put this board aside somewhere I won't knock it off or reach over it and get my arm in it. So I'll let that dry, and I'm going to go ahead and decorate the rest of the tag, put the rest of the tag items on. And I have this little tray that I got somewhere, I have no idea where, but it's not a very big tray, but it's where when I do a bunch of die cutting, I use that tray to hold the stuff. So a little tray like that is very handy, I might add. So I colored all the images in from this stamp set, this Cardinal Blessing stamp sets. Now this is not a new one, but oh my gosh, like you can see how beautiful this is. Like it is so pretty, and you don't have to be an expert colorist to color it in, because when Sabrina created this, she added a lot of lines to show you where to shade, and it's really nice. So where you see the lines, that's where I put the darker colors. So I love that she did that. It made it so much easier. So I did use my Copic colors to color that in, and my mother loves cardinals, so you bet my mother's going to get some of these cardinal tags for Christmas. So here's where the new goodies come in. Like here's the Assorted Christmas Leaves dies. And when Sabrina came out with the original Assorted Leaves dies, I've made so many videos with those, and I've used them in so many different ways that it's like I've just been had so much fun with them that as soon as I saw this set, I knew I had to have it. It's a craft stash essential for me, and I love the pine boughs. She's got two different pine boughs. I'm using the smaller one. I love the little bare branches because they add such a pretty element to your card, and it makes it look a bit more rustic, I think, on a project like this where I'm doing mixed media techniques. And I just think it fills in your project and adds such a beautiful natural looking element. So I'm using one of the sentiments in the stamp set. It says Merry Christmas from our home to yours. I wish that I had heat embossed that because it's a little hard to see. I just used my Eclipse black ink, but on that deep green, I think probably adding either a clear embossing over that or just doing it in black or even gold would have been really pretty. I still really like the way this came out, so I'm just really happy with it. So I'm just adding my assorted leaves to this piece too. And I use these kinds of elements for so many things, but imagine making a little wreath around the front of a card with those pine boughs and sticking some of those little branches out. And then the branches that I put the little Nouveau drops on are going to be pretty amazing. So you can get this with 20% off through September 6th, which I think is really fun. I'm adding a little bit of black twine that I have in my stash, and I'm so happy that I bought this giant roll of black twine because I use it so often. I make a lot of tags. I don't share a lot of tags that I make, but I loved these so much that I had to share it. My original tag was made for a challenge at Scrapping for Fun Challenges, so I just wanted to use every bit of this, and I'll use those cardinals on some different tags for sure. So here are these two, and I want to pull out my original because for the original I also added the white splatter to the mailbox, and I want you to see the difference it makes. Before I do that, I am going to add some gems. I have some Everglades green crown jewel gems I'll put on the red tag, and I have some roller skate red crown jewel gems I will add to the green tag. And I purchased these purposely for Christmas projects because the colors are divine. I love the colors. I love that the colors of, I love when companies coordinate their inks and their papers and their embellishments. I think it just makes crafting so much easier. And I love the Cardinal Blessing stamp. That was one of the stamps when I was browsing the store. I realized I want to be on that design team. She makes gorgeous stuff. And every single release that Sabrina's had this year, it has never disappointed. Like, the stuff is gorgeous, and I have a wish list to go with it. So thank you so much for watching, friends. I'm going to put all the links to these cards below, or to the products that I used below. And for the next few days, you can get 20% off that Cardinal Blessing stamp set and the Assorted Leaves die. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to add the branches that I added the red Nouveau drops to, because take a look at this. And this is definitely a mixed media project because I've used several different mediums here, and I'm just adding it carefully with my tweezers. And those really dried quickly. It's a lot less humid here today, so these dried very quickly, and I was able to easily add them without smudging all those. And look how pretty that looks. You have a nice shine there, and that red is just gorgeous. So I add them with these reverse tweezers, because I can clamp those tweezers around the project, and I don't have to keep holding them shut because they automatically stay closed. Isn't that pretty? Love, love, love that. So I really like the way that came out. So Scrappy Tales is going to have another Christmas release, by the way. She had her first Christmas release in August, and she's got another one planned for October, I believe, early October, because she's just got so many beautiful Christmas things. She broke it into two different releases, and I can't wait to see what she has coming out in October, because the August release was amazing. I haven't even shared the foiling plates that I got, so those will be my next video. And I also have another video that will come out tomorrow on she came out with an advent calendar add-on for that birdhouse die that I've used several times, and I want to share that because I created a gratitude calendar, advent calendar for November that I want to share with you. So I will share that video tomorrow. So there you go. That actually completes those two tags. And let me pull that other tag in because I definitely want you to see. I added the white splatter to the birdhouse. It almost looks like snow, and I used sequins instead of crown jewel gems on that one. And I actually really like the white splatter on the birdhouses. I feel like it just adds a little bit more texture, but you can see how all that splatter adds texture and interest to your tags, and it gives it a very rustic feel. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, friends.